Thank you, Mr. Chair. Attorney General, according to recent reporting, the Trump administration is pursuing far fewer civil rights cases, including hate crimes, police bias, and disability right cases than the Obama or Bush administrations. The DOJ's Civil Rights Department has started 60% fewer cases against potential violations during the first 2 years of the Trump administration than during the President Obama administration, and 50% fewer than under the George Bush administration. Can you please provide me why that is happening, and what are you planning to do to address that?
I'd have to see those figures and how they're broken down. I haven't seen those figures before. The areas that I'm familiar with, such as hate crimes, it's simply not true. We have an enviable record of prosecuting hate crimes at the same or higher rate than previous administrations, as far as I'm aware. I'd have to see what else you're talking about.
Are you familiar with the data of what the percentage have they increased under the Trump administration?
I think
there are indications they have.
Have they increased?
Yes.
Whether hate crimes versus the prosecution of hate crimes?
Hate crimes, have they increased under this administration?
I haven't seen any data, going from 2007.
So is it a priority? You haven't looked at the data, you're not aware of it?
As I said in my confirmation hearings, I'm very concerned about hate crimes and intend to vigorously pursue them. The data that I have seen have showed an increase going back to 2013. So I agree with you that they have been increasing, but I have seen no data to say that it's different under the Trump administration.
Attorney General, I want you to, we use the word stay woke sometime in community activism, where you are in tune with what's happening on the ground. I appreciate your tenure or your length of time that you've been Attorney General, but I can tell you that this is something that's very important, and I expect for you to be informed and aware of what's happening in this area. I wanted to follow up on a question that my colleague Cartwright asked, because I really need to ask this question. I watched with in deliberate intent of your answers when who do you report to, the President of the United States or to the people of America? You, during your confirmation, without duress, said you report to the people, but you just said when it came to the ACA ruling that you gave, that the president was very clear that he opposed it, and so let it work out in legislation. I want you to be very, let me finish my question because that's what I heard. Maybe you need to clarify it. I want you to explain to me, do you understand your role when you issue a statement abolishing Affordable Care Act, that you, as the Attorney General of the people of the United States, have a responsibility to understand and support that decision, not based on the policy of a President of the United States? It was clearly laid out the impact it would have, and I want you to respond to that, because that's what I heard, sir.
Well, if you did listen to my confirmation.
I did, sir.
Okay, I distinguish between three different roles the Attorney General plays. One is in enforcement, another is in a policy role, and the third is in providing legal advice. And what I said then is that the Attorney General has the responsibility to provide straight from the shoulder legal advice as to what the Attorney General thinks is the right view of the law.
So in this case of ACA, you felt it was the right decision under the law to issue that you support abolishing the Affordable Care Act. That's your legal opinion.
No, you didn't let me finish, which is that the first obligation is to provide your best view of the law. If the President or your executive branch agencies that you're representing and are stakeholders in the issue disagree with that advice and want to pursue a different position, then the Attorney General litigating on behalf of the United States should take that position if it's reasonable and a defensible legal position,
So,
even if it's not the position that the Attorney General would take if the Attorney General was a judge. That's the position I stated at my confirmation hearing.
so
I did
that
not.
we can be clear, sir, what you're saying is that if you disagree with the president,